Everyone who gets their real estate license thinks that it's something amazing and wonderful, and it can be. But starting out, you never know what you're truly getting yourself into. So let's chit-chat about that today. Sometimes life just sucks, and sometimes it freaking rocks. We will discuss all the things from family and real estate to travel and just life in general. So take a seat, or don't, you do you, and welcome to the Lombadass Podcast. Hello, Mrs. Janelle Haggett. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. For those of you who don't know, Janelle is on my podcast today. This is her first time. She is a fellow member of Lombadass and Associates, and she's had her real estate license. How long have you had your real estate license for?
2 years.
Okay, 2 years, and she's an amazing human. I freaking love you. And she's also a great agent. As I mentioned already, this is like totally edited. If you don't want to say something or you say something. By the way, has anything really ever been edited out, Billy? I feel like it hasn't really.
Just like a phone call.
Okay, like a phone call or a text that comes in.
I tried to turn my phone off.
Well, yeah, I try to. I'm never very successful at it. But anyways, I love that all of our cups are sitting here on our table. I tell everybody I'm always afraid that I'm going to die of thirst. And it's so funny because this cup probably could not be any more inappropriate if it tried. So I have to tell you, okay, here, I'm going to totally show the camera. So does everybody see my cup? There it is. Okay. So my mom sees this cup, right? And she's like, Lauren, your niece would love that cup. And I'm like, my niece, who is 5, by the way. And I'm like, Mom, she can't have my cup. It's kind of inappropriate. And she's like, no, but she would love the unicorn. And I'm like, Mom, the unicorn is on a stripper pole. She's not allowed to. Okay, so if you can't see this, what it is it says other realtors. And there's like just a random, for those of you who are just listening, there's like just a random regular horse. And then it says me, and it's like this beautiful unicorn. I mean, I'm not a stripper, but I'm definitely a beautiful unicorn. So I'm here for it. Anyways, we have all the drinks here. Janelle, I'm so grateful that you're here because I really wanted to talk about how it was getting into the business and how you started out, what your expectations were, and what the reality ended up being. Because last week we had our team event in Havasu where we business planned for all of 2024. So those of you who are clients of ours, just know that everything that we do and everything that we pass out and everything that we say to you guys and all the information that we put out there, that is all predetermined for the most part. The content obviously is going to change as the market fluctuates, but all of that is thought of well in advance. And I think that the normal person who is interested in getting their real estate license doesn't realize like what it entails.
What they're getting themselves into.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think a lot of that has to do with because we just want to go out and sell houses and look at beautiful homes and help people. And
Absolutely.
Like you go into it with a good heart, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like, wait, I have to business plan? Okay.
Exactly.
So tell me, when you got your real estate license, what you thought it was going to be. And then I'll tell you what I thought mine was going to be like, and then we can go from there.
When I got my license, I thought it would be very easy to transition to because I felt like you said, like, I'm here to help people. I'm smart. I'm hardworking. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to help people find homes. We're going to buy and sell homes. And I went into it excited to change my career.
Because what were you doing before?
So I was a teacher for 14 years.
Okay, which is incredible. What grade did you teach?
I taught K through 8 physical education, and then I taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade science.
And what made you make the jump from teaching to real estate? Because the reason I'm asking this, I get a lot of people who are like, okay, I'm thinking of changing it up, or I'm thinking of when I retire from X, I'm going to go into real estate. So what made you go from teaching to real estate?
Really, I was just ready to move on from teaching.
Okay.
And I was ready to try something new, start a new career, and I quite didn't know where I was going to go.
Okay.
So I kind of came into this because of someone I knew who had a family brokerage, but he flipped houses, and he was like, I need someone to be on the floor. I need someone to be at the homes to schedule all the contractors, make sure that everything is working on time. And for me, and he knew my schedule because my boys are very active in travel ball. It was like a perfect fit.
Yep.
So that's where I went into it like that. And then he encouraged me to get my real estate license because once we flip the houses, then I can do open houses and possibly find a buyer. So that's how I transitioned into it. And it wasn't really because I was going to be a real estate agent. It was because I was going to start flipping houses.
And helping this family brokerage. Okay, that makes perfect sense. So I have to ask you, going back to the school thing, did any of that have to do with COVID?
I don't think that was the reason, but I will tell you, and a lot of teachers will tell you that once that hit, things changed. There's a lot of things that changed, and it wasn't just because it was people were home, people found different ways to provide education. You don't have to be in the classroom all day long. You can do things on Zoom. There's flexibility. People loved it. People hated it because kids were home. Like it changed so much. And as we had seen afterwards, even the kids, the children that were affected the most were like kinder, first, and second, because when they were gone for such a long period of time with no interaction with children, no classroom rules, not even really writing that much.
Sure.
When we came back into the classroom, they were far, far behind. So there's a lot of catch up. And so we learned that that age group
suffered the most.
Struggled, and it made teaching harder. I mean, it did. It changed a lot of things. I wouldn't say COVID is the reason why I left, but even before COVID, I always wondered, is there something else I should be doing?
Okay.
Is there something else out there? Always kept my options open, but I wasn't really ready to take the leap until pretty much after that.
Okay. When you were little, did you always want to be a teacher or no?
No.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? High aspirations. I was, and I remember my mom being like, Lauren, that is not like reality. You can't be a stay-at-home mom. Like that's just something that, you have to have a two-income household in order to survive. And I'm like, okay. And then I married Sweetie Pie and I got to be a stay-at-home mom. So I was very grateful, at least for a little bit. So I was grateful the whole time. I was a stay-at-home mom for a little bit, just for clarification purposes. Okay. So you got in thinking that you were going to flip these houses, and what ended up happening?
This is the only time I've ever been in this market, but right when I got into it, obviously a lot changed. The market shifted.
Yes.
But this is all I know. So
Yes.
We didn't flip houses. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I guess, because I started getting my license, like I started classes right away because
Sure.
I knew I'm just like that. Like if I'm going to do something, I'm 100%. Like just go
You are
all
very
in.
assertive.
I'm going to go right into it. So I was already preparing with my classes. So then I was like, well, I guess I will just be a real estate agent because I'm going to get my license and I'm going to be ready and I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. And then you started working for this brokerage and they decided we're not flipping houses anymore. So what did you do? Like what trainings did you go to, especially if it's a smaller family brokerage? I know not all, but some don't have the training and the resources and stuff that I think a lot of agents put on the back burner. They don't realize that they need it when they're new, right? Or they get so big that they have their own tools and systems in place that they feel that they don't need the support of a big brokerage. So what the heck did you do? Because you're probably sitting around wondering like, okay, now what?
Okay, so I would look into my organization.
Your board.
My board.
Like your board. So we have different boards, different associations, just for those who aren't in real estate. So we have like Citrus Valley Board of Realtors. We have Tigar. Tigar, is that how you say it?
I was originally
You were Tigar? Okay, I was originally Citrus Valley and then bounced over to PWR, which is Pacific West Association of Realtors. So we have all these associations, all these boards within Southern California, and your broker has to be a part of that. And whatever your brokerage is a part of is the board that you have to be affiliated with. So you were with Tigar, so you would...
They had weekly meetings and they had weekly educational classes.
Okay.
And I just would go there once a week. Usually it was once a week. I would look up... it's funny because once you get started... everyone has your email address and they
Yes.
just send you so much email. So I had a lot of classes being thrown at me from maybe even different brokerages. They had special people on a panel going to talk about the market, going to talk about how to get into business and or even lenders would offer classes, but
Yep.
they all had like partnerships. And then I would just go and attend and I would go listen and I would just get all the information I could and just work with that.
So networking is huge. And I think it's funny too, because when I got my real estate license, I had no clue, like my head was up my rear because I had no clue where I was going to go and what I was going to do. Now, luckily I joined a big brokerage and their training, in my opinion, is second to none. So that really helped me. So I had a lot of training courses and stuff like that through them, but I would have never even thought of going to my board.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you took the initiative to do that. I will say, not a lot of people, I think, would. I think people have this notion, at least when I got my license, 17 years ago, that, okay, I'm going to get my license and everybody's going to list their house with me, and then I'm going to make a lot of money, and I'm going to create my own schedule, and I'm going to, be able to hang out with my kids and do all these things. And that's that could not be further from the truth.
Not right away. Hopefully in the future I'll
Yes.
be able to organize all that into my life and spend more time with my kids. But right now I'm building a business. So right now it is a lot of work. And that's one thing I did not expect. I did not expect that I'm my own boss. I'm building my own business. I didn't know it could take up to 5 years to build all your clientele. So those are the things that were unexpected for me. And I really think if I would have known that,
Okay.
I might have been too afraid to take the leap.
Oh.
So in a way, for me, because I'm very like I like I like things that are stable and things that are dependable, and I like to have a paycheck every week, and I like everything like I like security. And when I
Yes.
jumped into this, it wasn't like that at all. So that was the hardest thing for me when I transitioned from teaching, because I mean, any job I had before teaching too, I was an employee. And I just went to work, I did my thing, and I didn't have to worry about budgeting. I didn't have to worry about all the scheduling. I didn't have to worry about my numbers. I just didn't have to worry about that. And then coming into real estate, you are building a business. And that, to transition from one career to another career is a lot and overwhelming in general. But then when you have to actually build a business on top of that, that's like two major things thrown at you.
And you're building a business on top of something where in real estate, it's a roller coaster. I mean,
Exactly.
and I think,
It feels
and
like a roller coaster.
it really does. And I'll tell you, even after 17 years of selling real estate, it still feels like a roller coaster to me too. My perspective though comes from one where, I always tell everybody, well, I'm on chapter 17, you're only on chapter 2. So like you have to wait. The good part's coming, the good part's coming. And yes, it does hit, and it's funny because it seems to hit all at once. And then it's like what you're focused on and what is to come is so different than how it was in the very beginning. In the very beginning, you're scrounging, you're looking for every deal that you could possibly find. I remember driving up to Victorville, which is quite literally like an hour away from where we live, and showing houses to this buyer who was not even pre-approved. Like, I didn't know. And everyone's like, okay, well, they need to get pre-approved. And okay, well, how do I do that? Well, what do I do? What if they say no? What if they tell me, well, I'm already pre-approved and here's my letter. And then I call this person and they're like, I've never talked to this guy or haven't seen this guy in 6 months or whatever it is. Like, I think there's so many now, because I've been doing it for so long, I feel like my time is really valuable, right? So now I'm very secure in what I can do and what I can charge and what I can perform and all the things that I can do that in my mind, it makes it a little bit easier. But I'm telling you, the schedule thing, I still am balancing. And I don't know that that's ever going to go away.
I was thinking about that because that is one thing I had to learn. You have to be disciplined and you have to have a schedule. It has to be structured. But what if my kid's sick? Oh, here comes summer break. Oh, we're going away because we have a travel ball tournament out of town. Oh, it really is not perfect, but you have to roll with it and be flexible and be able to readjust. So you just have to be disciplined enough, like if something happens, that you're going to make it up the next day.
Yep.
Or you're going to do it a little bit later at a different time.
That part I think is the hardest for me because I don't like change. So if things are regimented, even today, like I had to take Carson to school, and I normally don't take Carson to school.
Things like that.
David does, right? So Connor starts earlier than Carson does because he has a 0 period. So I get up, I make the kids lunches, I take Connor to school, I come back, I just had to throw Carson's in his lunch pail or in his lunch bag. And David's walking out the door and I'm like, wait, where's Carson? He's like, well, nobody woke him up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, well, yeah, but I was taking Connor to school and I was getting lunch ready and stuff. I'm like, you didn't wake him up when you got up? He's like, no, I just assumed he was up. And then I realized he wasn't. I'm like, oh my gosh, it threw my whole morning into it. And then I'm like texting you, I'm going to be 5 minutes late. I'm texting Billy, I'm going to be 5 minutes late. And I don't like running late. I genuinely hate it, but I generally run about 5 minutes late. And I hate it so much. And it just seems like no matter how much I try. And then here I am pulling into Carson's school and I'm like, bro, why is it empty? Like, where's all the traffic? And he's like, because we start school at 8:30. We're pulling in at 8:31. And I was like, what? I thought you started school at 8:50. And then here I am feeling like a bad mom. I don't even know what time my kid starts school. No, of course I don't know what time my kid starts school because I don't normally freaking take him. So why would I need to know that? Like, it's just, I think being a business owner, running your own schedule, you can be all the things.
Running a family, managing a family.
Managing a marriage. Like, it's so... I don't think that it's talked about enough about the pressure that not only society puts on us, but we put on ourselves. Like, why is, for example, oh my gosh, you're going to die. So my mom hit me up and was like, hey, do you want this cat? And she sends me a picture of the cutest cat ever. I said, no, don't worry.
She took the cat.
Okay, yes, she did. Okay. She did. Okay, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this cat. I'm like, no, I don't need another thing to take care of in my life, but you should take the cat. And she was like, I think I'm going to. And I'm like, perfect. So she starts sending me like kitty litter boxes. And she's like, can you order these for me on Amazon? Because I have a Prime account and she doesn't. And I'm like, no, because this isn't what you need. And I'm like, I can't find what you need. I don't have time to look for it. I'm just going to run to PetSmart for you and I'll pick it up for you. So she leaves to go visit my sister. They're currently in Seattle, but they're coming home tonight. So I'm like, I will run to PetSmart and I'll pick up this stuff for you. Why? Why did I volunteer that? I have so much going on. Like, I'm like, but I know what she needs. So it's easier if I do just go and grab it. It's easier for her, but it's not easier for me.
Just helping. You come from a place of service.
I want to help.
You want to help.
Oh my gosh.
You have the intentions. The time is hard because it's hard to put everything all together in one day. And yeah.
In addition to that, we found out this weekend by looking at the weather, we have our largest event this weekend that we do for real estate for our team. It's our Pie and Prosecco party and it's huge. We always do it the Friday before Thanksgiving. I'm looking at you like you don't know this, but you know.
I know. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's everybody comes in cocktail attire. It is so fun. We give away some amazing prizes. Last year we gave away a cruise and my clients ended up, instead of going on a cruise, they went to Cabo for my 40th birthday, which was so much fun anyways, but we gave that away. We, what else do we do? We have like appetizers, local kids from the school come and help so they can get service hours signed off. Like it is so, did you have fun last year, Billy? It's going to be even more fun this year. Okay. And we have way better prizes this year too. I mean, some of the same, but way good prizes. But anyways, it's supposed to rain, like full on downpour starting on Wednesday. So I'm like, okay, what the hell do I do? Well, I start looking at tents. I start looking at other places that we can rent out. And this is literally happening on Saturday and our event is the following Friday. So I was dealing with that, like stress. And then I wake up this morning.
I almost sent it to you too, but it was too early. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No rain. There's no rain in the forecast. So I'm like, why was I stressing out about this? Like, I need the weather people to get their act together. And then, not like they have any control. Like, they have no control. But, so that happened. And then, I know this is first world problems, but Sweetie Pie and I are celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary.
Oh, yes. This is crazy.
This is so nuts.
Yes.
So Lombardos and Associates were on our own group text message and it's LNA Badasses. It's kind of fun. But anyways, anytime like something's going on, even in our personal life, we'll text. And I'm like, girls, I have to tell you, I am like freaking out right now. So for our 20th wedding anniversary, we are going to Paris and we were supposed to go to Iceland. If you don't read the news, Iceland is like ready to erupt in a volcanic like eruption.
I had to look it up because it's not local for me.
Okay, but
like I'm getting Iceland news.
Well, okay.
International news.
Like who gets that?
I didn't know.
Okay, apparently it came across on David's phone, but I think like Google was running something on it or whatever. But that's the problem. So I was watching this TikTok today that Melissa, my best friend, sent me, and she's like, just a heads up, this is like what's really going on. And it's this guy that's like, this thing could blow any second.
There's multiple earthquakes that are happening, right?
Okay, which I'm going to be straight with you right now. That freaks me out more than anything.
Because the plates are moving. Plate tectonics.
Did you look it up? Did you see that there's a massive crack in like the earth over there? It's huge. Is it not, Billy? Like you saw it, right? Oh my gosh.
I'm just glad you know now ahead of time.
And when you said that, I was like, You're the best. Yes, that is the silver lining. Now, here's the thing. I can deal with a volcanic eruption because where we are going, from everything that I've read, I don't want to sound ignorant, but from everything that I've read, is not going to be affected by the like actual lava. Like, of course, it's going to be affected because ash and everything in the air. Side note, I have asthma really bad. It's crazy. So if I go and breathe all this crap,
I don't know why you're still thinking about it.
I'm not. So on top of trying to find a new venue, I have to find a new place to go. Again, I know this is third world problem or first world problems, guys. I know, I get it. I said third world, I swear. But I know it's first world problems, but it's still something in my life that is a stressor that I'm dealing with. So this is where I'm at. And so this is where I'm at. And this is what we're going to talk about. So I'm like, okay, now what the hell do we do? Like, do we figure? And I have podcasting today. I'm going to be on a panel tomorrow. We have our office meeting. And I have to get our anniversary for December and November. I have to get all those done and filled out so that those can be delivered. We have something tomorrow evening. I forget what it was. On Wednesday, I'm going to be on a panel, as you know. I'm going to be on a panel for a local bunch of real estate agents talking about just sharing ideas and stuff like that. It's supposed to be a huge event. That's in Norco if anybody's interested.
Those are the types of trainings that I would go to.
I love it. I love it.
I actually went to yours. Remember?
You went to the one that we did in Anna?
When you
Where were we?
speak, you did lunch and learns.
Oh, that's right.
So my first year,
I was like, come.
and that's how I would learn.
Because I loved you and I was like, we have to work together.
Yes.
And I'm so glad we do.
Yes.
But I have that on Wednesday. We have a fundraising event that evening. I have to finish Christmas shopping. Thursday, we have to get ready for our event like all day. Friday, we'll be getting ready for the event. It's literally a production. And then it's the weekend and my kids are off school the next week. Like, it's just crazy. So anyways, it was just all these things coming together. I told you that long whole story to just say, I get it. The scheduling can be really difficult because now I'm having to reschedule 3 days of my vacation. And the crazy thing is, like, just as a massive sidebar here, we're going to be in Paris and then we were going to bounce up to Iceland and then back to Paris because the flights to and from Paris from LA are extremely inexpensive. I should probably do a podcast on this, but are extremely inexpensive in comparison to other things. So I'm like, initially, we were supposed to leave on Thanksgiving night after like late at night. And then we were going to be there Friday until the following Saturday. Well, they changed our flights from Thursday to Friday. So I'm like, oh, shoot. So now we arrive Saturday. So now our plan was to go up to Iceland and then come back to Paris for 2 days and then leave. And now I'm sitting like, okay, what the heck am I going to do for 3 days? So, and we have nothing booked, none of it. We're going to fly by the seat of their pants, which I'm really good at, but I just don't want to be good at it this week because I'm so busy.
Going on.
Anyways, back to you. So
I'm exhausted.
Girl, I'm so exhausted. You had no idea. I had a massive headache yesterday. I took a bath and I never take baths. David's like, did you take a bath? I'm like, I did. He's like, do you feel okay? I'm like, yes, I'm just really stressed about quite a few things. So I feel the stress of that in being a new agent. So then let me ask you, because you've since come over to Lombardi's and Associates, which we're so grateful to have you here. I want to know, coming over to our team in particular, obviously, because that's your experience, but coming over to a team, like what was the security in that? Like, what was something that you were looking forward to that you didn't have before and, you know, what we had to offer as a real estate team?
I think it was because after I had kind of analyzed my first year, I realized that one of the things that had made me happy and kept me teaching for so long was I was around a group of women teachers. It doesn't have to be women, but it was just happened to be because most of the teachers at my school were women. But we were a team and we helped each other. And when we were going through our highs or our lows, we were always there for each other. When someone was struggling, someone was there to talk them up. And just the camaraderie of that and just building that relationship helped me through 14 years of teaching, because teaching's not easy.
I can imagine.
There's a lot that goes on. And we always were just this strong support for each other. And I missed that.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, if I'm going to keep going with real estate, because I did question it. Mm-hmm. Well, do I keep going or what do I do? Yep. So I did not want to give up. And I worked so hard that first year. And I realized I just need to be around more people, more like in an office setting, because I did a lot of work from home where I can be around real estate, have the conversations. I want to see people. I want a team. I want to my whole life I played sports, and I realized that has been a huge impact in my life. And I love being a part of a team. Not that I didn't have that support beforehand. It was more like a phone call. If you need me, we'll work it out. And my broker was always there for me. But I think I felt a little bit alone because I didn't have people in front of me working together, bouncing ideas off regularly every day. And I felt like I needed that. Like I just needed more and more, that I felt like if I went to a team that I would have that extra support, extra resources, just a different outlook on this industry.
I think that that's huge because, we do have brokerages in our community that are very computer based. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean.
Data driven?
No, not data driven. More like you need something, send in a ticket, and we'll get with you within the next 15 minutes. Or, hey, yeah, you can call this person. But I think that the human connection is so huge. That's why I know AI is trying to AI is not trying to take away anything. AI is trying to make things easier and better on not only consumers, but business owners. So let me change my mindset and say that. But I do think people are worried that AI is going to take over their job. And I think for some, it absolutely will. It absolutely will. But I think for real estate agents, I don't see that happening. People want the human interaction. They want that connection. I think we learned that with COVID too, being so isolated. Can it be done? Yes. Do we want it done that way? I don't think so. I think it's good for some. It's not going to be good for others because human interaction is just, quite literally, that's why God made Eve, dude. Like, he didn't want Adam to be alone. Like, I feel like we need each other. We really do. We need the connection. We need the human interaction. We need somebody holding us accountable, somebody telling us that we can be better than what we're doing, kind of what you mentioned. So I think that that's great. And I love having you on this team. I feel like you bring a whole different dynamic. You're so good at doing the research and finding things out and sending things across. I think our conversations are so good, especially with the industry changing so much, with us having good conversations about, not just mindset, but how we're going to move forward and what we're going to do. I think it really makes things a little bit brighter. So my last question, are we close to done, Billy? What am I looking at?
28.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. That was really good.
What's the time limit? 30?
Well, normally I try to keep it around 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes we go longer, sometimes we go shorter, but around that time frame. But I don't want to impede on your day because I know you have things going on. So I want to know what kept you in this business when you realized, oh shoot, this isn't what I thought it was. What kept you going? Because I think for newer agents, this is going to be imperative for them.
Mm-hmm.
What kept you going?
What kept me going was, and I don't know if this is good or bad, because I'm not saying your success is based on how many houses you sell and all that. There's so much more to your job in life. But
I agree.
I didn't want to fail.
Okay.
I did not want to fail. And I just had this feeling like I'm not giving up. Like, this isn't going to happen. Like, I need to keep pushing through. And I wasn't always that strong-minded. So, because you've been with me. So the moment though that I can't be that strong-minded, I don't feel that strength to push forward, my husband had my back. Like I'm going to get all.
That's okay. That's okay.
But so like you said, it's a roller coaster and
Yes.
It is highs and lows. And he's seen me through everything.
I cry when other people cry, by the way. Like, I can't. So, but I get it.
But
I have a really supportive husband too. So I get it. Yeah, you start crying. Look I'm already emotional. Yeah. Having a supportive human in your life is the best thing. That is the best recipe for success. I know. So if you have a successful real estate agent in your life, I'm going to tell you, they probably have somebody very strong behind them, pushing them.
Absolutely. Because when I don't believe in myself, he believes in me.
Yep.
And when I'm down, he lifts me up, and I believe in him. So I'm like, okay, if you're going to believe in me, then I'll believe in you. And then we just support each other. And he really pushes me. And he's like, Janelle, he puts reality. He like breaks it down. Janelle, remember this, and this. Remember, it's going to be like, it's okay. It's okay. Really? Yes. Okay. And then besides him, like, I surround myself around the most positive people, my family supportive, you, Nicole, Jamie, supportive, all of them, everyone that I began with Lambadas and Associates. I'm just surrounding myself around people who are going to lift me up, keep me positive, have my best interest at heart. And I also have a lot of friends that are just badass moms, and I lean on them, and all of that gets me through, and that's what pushed me through. And if I let the fear and the unknown stop me, I'll never be able to move forward, and I don't want that to happen because I don't want my children to see that, because I want to practice what I preach. Like I tell my kids, even when I had my students, like, if you believe in something, you work hard and you want it, go for it.
I love that.
And how dare I not practice what I preach? So that's what really helped me to just push through and move forward.
I love it. And just to give our listeners some context, how many homes did you sell the first year in real estate?
My first year, 4.
Okay. And how many homes have you sold so far this year?
I'm working on my 5th.
Okay. So to me, the average real estate agent includes agents in year 1 all the way up to year 100. The average real estate agent sells 2 houses a year, I think it is, or like 1.5 houses a year. So you have doubled what the average real estate agent sells. And so I know I constantly remind you how wonderful you are, but that is so incredible. And I think that your perseverance through, hard things and not knowing what's going to happen and stuff like that, I think shows a lot of strength and vulnerability that you give not only to your family, but to yourself as well. I think I just think that it's so great. And I think that you're amazing. I think you're an incredible mom. I do love that you have an insane support behind you, not with just your husband, but with your in-laws and your family and stuff like that. And I think that you're a great example to your boys. So, thank you so much for being on my podcast today. You're wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes, good. No, go sell a house, please.
I am. I'm working on it, girl. I am.